All right, you're going to want to hear this. One of Southeast Asia's biggest maritime powers is making a huge and honestly pretty shocking move on the world's naval chessboard. We're talking about a deal that could completely change the game for naval aviation in the entire region.
It all kicks off with this number right here. $450 million. That's the foreign loan ceiling that Indonesia's Ministry of National Development Planning has just approved for a massive naval purchase. And yeah, that is a very serious chunk of change.
So you gotta ask, right? What does that kind of money get you? A brand new top-of-the-line frigate? Maybe a whole squadron of patrol boats? What kind of cutting-edge tech are we talking about? Well, the answer is none of that. It buys a 40-year-old aircraft carrier that was just retired by Italy, the ITS Giuseppe Garibaldi. And believe me, this is where the story gets really good. Now, this isn't just any old ship rusting away in a harbor. For decades, the Garibaldi was the absolute pride of the Italian Navy. So to really get what Indonesia's buying, we first have to understand this ship's incredible history. I mean, think about it. Commissioned way back in 1985, this was Italy's very first aircraft carrier. And it wasn't just for parades. This ship saw real action. It supported strike missions over Kosovo in '99 and launched a staggering 1,200 flight hours of sorties over Libya in 2011. This is a battle-tested vessel with a serious resume, only just retired this year. And when you look at the specs, its original design really tells a story. We're talking over 14,000 tons, with a top speed of 30 knots. It was actually built as an anti-submarine warfare cruiser first. Only later was it adapted to handle jets like the AV-8B Harrier. You know, the ones that can take off on a short runway and land vertically. And that adaptability, that is the key to this entire story. Right, so here's the kicker. Indonesia isn't just buying a piece of history to turn into a museum. No way. They have this incredibly bold 21st century vision for this old Cold War warrior. They want to give it a complete high-tech overhaul. And this isn't just a paint job. It's a total philosophical shift. The old Harrier jets? Gone. In their place, a fleet of advanced drones, specifically the Turkish Bayraktar TB3. The whole mission changes from being a strike carrier to becoming this super versatile mobile hub for drones and helicopters. And this isn't just a fantasy on a napkin. Indonesia's already got deals in place to build 60 of these naval TB3 drones themselves. And here's the proof of concept. The TB3 has already aced its takeoff trials from a ski jump ramp, exactly like the one on the Garibaldi. The original Italian shipbuilder, Fincantieri, has even flown a team to Jakarta to map out how the whole refit would work. This is happening. Okay, so let's zoom out. How does this fit into Indonesia's grand strategy? Because a purchase this big isn't just about getting a cool new toy. It's a major move driven by a national security doctrine. It all ties back to a policy they call the minimum essential force. The goal is pretty straightforward. Give Indonesia the basic military muscle it needs to protect its own backyard. And when your backyard is an archipelago of over 17,000 islands, well, controlling the seas is absolutely everything. So what would the Garibaldi actually do for them? It becomes a floating mobile base for a whole range of missions. Its drones could patrol huge swaths of ocean. It would be a massive platform for disaster relief after a tsunami or earthquake. And hey, with the right helicopters, it could even go back to its roots hunting for submarines. It's a true force multiplier. But, and this is a big but, we're still talking about a 40-year-old ship. And aircraft carriers are famously ridiculously expensive and complex to run. So that brings us to the really tough questions. Is this a stroke of genius or potential billion-dollar headache? This is the question that hangs over this entire deal. That $450 million price tag is just the entry fee. The cost to refit it, operate it, maintain it, and build a fleet to protect it, those costs are astronomical. Can Indonesia actually afford to keep this thing running? And you don't have to look far for a warning sign. Just ask their neighbor, Thailand. They bought a carrier, the HTMS Chakri Narrabet, but then they struggled to find the money to actually operate it. It spent most of its life tied up at the pier, becoming what some people called a royal yacht. That's the exact nightmare scenario Indonesia has to avoid. And, you know, this Garibaldi deal isn't the only option on the table. Indonesia's own state-run shipbuilder PT PAL is working on designs for its own amphibious carriers, maybe with some help from foreign partners. So they face a choice: buy old and fix it up, or build new from scratch. So, in the end, that's the gamble.
Will the Garibaldi, reborn as a drone carrier, become the new, powerful centerpiece of the Indonesian Navy, a symbol of their ambition? Or will it end up being a very, very expensive lesson in just how hard it is to run a capital ship? We're going to have to wait and see.
Don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to stay ahead of the biggest shifts in aerospace, geopolitics, and defense innovation.